Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with the video of the day. One of my favorite players that played in the Sinquefield Rapid and Blitz was David Navara. He's not very well known to most people, but he's been over 2,700 FIDE for years. He's currently like 2737, and his peak was 2751, I think. And he's usually in the top 30 or 40 in the world. Anyway, he had a lot of nice victories in the tournament that just finished. And I was looking at some of his games. He has a very famous game against the Polish player Wojtek, who's been a non-second for off and on for the last few years. That's a famous game where Navara walked his king up the board. If you watch a lot of lectures online, you've probably seen that game. If you haven't, then go find it. It was played in 2015. It's a very famous night where White's king runs up the board in the opening and he ends up winning. Anyway, I want to look at a game he won against Surya Ganguly, the Grandmaster from India. Also one of a non-seconds. So I guess Navara specializes in beating a non-seconds, although not a non. This was played in Tata Steel in 2011. And this was a really exciting game. On chessgames.com, the name of the game was Navara, a Dull Moment. Never a dull... Yeah, so that was relatively funny. Okay, so they played an unusual Ruy Lopez. And what's unusual, this is not unusual, this variation with b5 and bishop c5. But I must admit, I do not know the move a5 here. So he played a5. I've never seen White play a5 ever in any variation like this. In fact, yeah, when I played the game over quickly and I looked at some of the notes, I did some analysis on my own. I wasn't sure why he couldn't take it, but I guess I figured I've taken with the bishop, I have d5, and take with the knight that e5 is hanging. I mean, not that it's hanging, but he took the pawn a5. Okay, so, but it's a strange idea to block the a file because White has the a file. So a5 is a strange move to me, but okay. Maybe that's why I haven't seen it before. It's just unusual. Okay, Navara played h3, which is what you want to do when you've played d4. So that bishop g4 is not annoying. Bishop e7, bishop e3, and Ganguly takes on e4, taking the bait, making the game very interesting. I guess a pawn is a pawn, and if Black doesn't take the pawn, White will play knight bd2. So take a pawn, d5, bishop takes e3. Of course, you can't move the knight from c6 because it's defending the bishop, so this is forced. Take on c6. Now it's equalish material. And White is attacking two bishops. So Black's got to play tactically, and he plays knight takes f2. Probably expecting rook takes f2. Well, then Black can just start taking things, take on c6, and Black's going to have, I guess, a rook and 3 pawns for 2 pieces. So White played queen d5. I'm sure Ganguly looked at that, threatening queen f7 mate, and allowing discovered checks everywhere. Knight h3, double discovered check. I guess all double checks are discovered. King h1. Wow, in a blitz game I would play king h2 without thinking, but I guess that's why I don't get invited to the Sinquefield Rapid and Blitz. Okay, queen f6, defending against queen f7 mate. And he took the bishop on b7. Knight f4, attacking the queen. Check. King gets out of check. And I guess there's no more tactics for now. There were a lot of tactics after knight takes e4. And I'm guessing after knight takes e4, Ganguly saw d5, takes on f2, queen d5. Yeah. He probably saw maybe to here, maybe, and thought that he has a lot of pawns for a piece and an attack on the White king. Black has a lot of pieces near the White king, and White hasn't completed development yet. So, yeah, okay. White has this nice fast pawn on the 7th rank, so... Okay, anyways, fair. Knight h2, defending. Now, I don't want to say Black made the losing move. Black played queen g5. It's not the best move. The best move actually equalizes. It's very hard to find, so pause your video. Black to play and draw. I think after the right move, White has 2 moves that are playable, but they're both all zeros. So have a look. Okay, and the right move is knight to e2. And the idea, of course, is if you take, then it's mate. So probably Navara wouldn't hang mate. And I think White can play queen f3 or rook f3 to defend against knight g3 mate, and the computer says it's all zeros for both moves, which is sort of strange, I guess. But and maybe I'm sure Ganguly saw knight e2, and I don't know if he thought it was equal or thought he was worse, but he decided to play queen g5. Okay, not everybody's an engine. And then knight a3, which isn't a great square for the knight, but you have to get your knight out so that your rook on a1 isn't trapped. And I guess the knight can go to c2 later. And in fact, as was seen later in the game, I guess, we can take on b5. Maybe it wasn't seen. And then the idea is we try to queen a pawn here. So knight a3 makes sense since white is defending g2 with his queen. So there's no mate. Okay, knight e2, threatening knight g3 mate. Rook f3. Black wins in exchange. Now, again, let's take stock in the material situation. Black still has all 8 pawns. It's like the Cav-Avalanche game. And white has 4 pawns? No, white has 5 pawns. There's a pawn on b7. Darn. So black has 3 pawns and a rook for 2 knights. In random legal positions, I would take a rook and 3 pawns against 2 knights. However, don't like this rook. Don't like this rook, don't like this king, and I really like this pawn on the 7th rank. I really like pawns on the 7th rank. That's me. I have a lot of experience with both sides of that, and the pawn on the 7th rank is good. So I guess I'd rather have white just because black's rooks aren't very good. If black's rooks were good, I'd rather have black. So, okay, so white took a pawn. Now the material's getting closer to equal. Bishop f4, threatening mate again. Wow, black threatened mate a lot this game. Knight g3 mate, queen h2 mate. He almost threatened queen g2 mate, almost. Okay, knight f3, stopping mate. Queen g4. That stops white from playing bishop e6 and also threatening mate. There's a lot of mates this game. Knight takes b5, as I indicated earlier. If you take the knight, this pawn is getting sort of strong over here. And obviously we're threatening queen takes c7 mate. Okay. So, queen d7. And as long as black never takes the knight on b5, white can't really get anything going on the queen side as far as queening is concerned. And material's about equal. It's weird, but equal. So I guess all 3 results are possible. And white actually wants black to take this, and so he can play a6 and a7. Okay, he needs to defend his b7 pawn, so he played bishop to d5 because his bishop is attacked on f7 and his queen on c6. It's like a fork. When I say it's like a fork, it is a fork. Black was threatening these 2 pieces, so white moved one of them away and defended the other, and also kept an eye on his very important b7 pawn, much more important than his knight, because we're trying to make queens over here. Okay, g5, continuing the attack. Rook f1, rook f8. And now the tactical knight takes g5. A very strange decision, in my opinion, from Ganguly to play rook f8, allowing knight takes g5. I'm wondering, like, if I was black, what I would be. I mean, obviously he saw knight takes g5, so I'm wondering why he would allow that. Yeah, I mean, probably just a blunder. I mean, when I say a blunder, he didn't blunder knight g5. So he saw knight g5. Okay, I don't know. King e7. Yeah. So I guess knight g5 loses a tempo because you can't take on h7 because rook h8 would kill you on the h file. And now looks like black's sort of getting out of everything. And he probably saw the next move for white, but he totally underestimated it. I don't blame him either. I would think twice about playing this move. So white played a fantastic move here. I mean, I don't expect anybody to get it, but pause your video and try to find the best move for white. You know what I'm thinking about it? I think that explains rook f8. He probably saw this, and he saw white's next move and thought it wasn't possible, and that's why he played g5. He probably thought this was helping him tempi-wise. Okay, so white played knight e6, which looks like a blunder, because the bishop is defending the knight and the queen. So black takes the queen, then takes the knight. And that's what happened. But again, in this particular position, the best pawn on b7 is very important. If we can somehow get rid of this a pawn, now we're talking. And he gets to do that. Now, of course, you can't let that knight sit on e6. That knight's a killer. That's the greatest knight ever. So we have to take it. and he gets a knight. Now black is up the exchange, and the pawns are equal. And now white starts taking pawns. Knight takes c7, knight takes a6. So I'm guessing when Ganguly played g5, he probably underestimated knight e6 and just forgot he's losing all his queenside pawns. Because I don't think anybody would want to have black here. White has 2 pawns for the exchange, and if I could have a knight and 2 pawns or a rook, in most positions I would have a knight and 2 pawns. And he's got pass pawns on the 5th and 7th rank that are connected. And there's another pass b pawn, or r. So, I mean, nobody wants to have black here. So just an underestimation of the position. Probably Ganguly was in time trouble and just missed that white could sack a piece and take all these pawns. So, unfortunate. Rook d8, because the rook was attacked. He queened, take. And now, I mean, every move wins, but this is the nicest move because it gets rid of all tricks. Black can try to draw with opposite colored bishops. As we've discovered in previous videos, that usually doesn't work. But you can have opposite colored bishops when you don't have a bishop. You can write that down. I'll let you write that down. I'll wait. Oh, you forgot what I said? There's no opposite colored bishops when you have no bishop. And so that gives you a hint as to what white played. Rook takes f4. Obviously, this pawn's pretty strong, and bishop e3 is a good way to stop it. A very good way to stop it. But you can't stop it when you don't have a bishop. And he resigned because if he takes after a6, as Joel Benjamin is prone to say, it's a girl. And the pawn's going to promote to a queen, or if you're Hikaru Nakamura, to a knight with a drawn position. But probably Navara would have made a queen and been up a bishop in the endgame. The most likely conclusion would have been this, if the players had kept playing. Okay, and then resigns. So after rook takes f4, getting rid of all of black's defenses of the passed a pawn, Ganguly resigned. So that was a very exciting game. And normally, when you look at really exciting games, and somebody's threatening checkmate every move, you're like, oh, that guy must have won. But in fact, white defended well, and eventually white's passed pawns on the queen side gave him the advantage, and his passed a pawn eventually was too strong, although he had to give up his passed b pawn. So that was a nice quick game, even though it was almost 40 moves. But Navara plays really interesting chess, and those of you who know me pretty well, you know I have all these favorite players, Makoveyev, MVL, Wesley So. It changes every couple of years. And one of the reasons I liked MVL a long time ago, before he was known, he was probably like 50th in the world when I started liking him, is I like the way he always plays for a win with both colors, and he's not afraid, and he's not trying to draw the game if he made a mistake. And actually, that's the way Navara plays. Navara just plays for a win. Navara plays the most aggressive move. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you see these really interesting games where, I mean, very confusing. Of course, black made mistakes. That's why he lost. He should have played knight e2 on move 19, but he didn't, so he lost the game. And that was the Tata steal. I'm not even sure if it was the A or the B group. I'm thinking because it was 2011, it was the B group, especially with Ganguly. Ganguly shouldn't be playing in the A group in 2011. Either one could play in the A group now, and then Ganguly, I guess, could play in either group. I wouldn't put Navara in the B group. He could play there, but he'd be the favorite. So I'm guessing this was the B group. Okay, so like and subscribe here on YouTube, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The donations have been light lately, and we've been buying more and more stuff for the Chess Center, making it all beautiful and working and cleaning and making it just so. We just bought a lot of shirts, so if you're ever in town and you want to buy some swag, we got swag for you. And I think I just placed a large order for books and equipment. So come on down and empty your wallets, and go to the donation page and empty your wallets there. And get your mommy's wallet and find my wallet, look inside and laugh. It's not that funny. And there was a funny poster I saw on Twitter that some guy made recently. I put it on my Facebook and Twitter. I retweeted. It's a poster of me and Ginger GM and Danny Wrench all looking insane. So ready for the match on October 4th. All right, awesome. See you guys September 9th at our grand opening. Don't forget to go to our website, atlchessclub.com, atlchessclub.com/donate, atlchessclub.com/events to look at our tournaments and classes and such, especially the and such. And I'll see you guys next time with another great game, sometimes by me, usually by somebody else. And I guess from now on I'll put the PGN in the notes because that takes me like a few seconds. And then you guys can do what you want with that. I'm not sure what you want with that. You can always find PGNs of any good player's game by going to the internet and doing a 5-second search. My games are a little tougher, but anybody who's good, if I show you a Carlson game, Wesley So, Mamedyarov, MVL, and you're like, I need the PGN. Well, go to the internet and do a 5-second search, and you'll find 10 examples of the PGN. If it's my game, then you're going to find the PGN. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.